All right, guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, you enjoy what you see, you like daily gaming content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are going to start off here talking about Suicide Squad, as the early access has been available, but it has not been a smooth release whatsoever for Rocksteady's Suicide Squad. This is going to be a very interesting game to follow, because I think there is a lot of people out there that are expecting this game to essentially be dead on arrival. Like, they don't expect this game to do very well. They don't expect it to get good reviews. There's been a bunch of stuff with review codes going out, IGN getting snubbed for a review code, and we will touch on that a little bit later. But it so far right now, with the early access and before the official launch of Suicide Squad, it does not look very promising in terms of the critical reception it is going to receive. Now, this game still could be great. It could still be fun. A lot of people probably will have fun with this game because Rocksteady does have great gameplay, and the gameplay from the betas that I've played weren't bad. They were decent. I could see people definitely jumping into this and spending a lot of hours in it, but we'll see what happens. I'll probably jump into this game at some point, not right away with so many other things to play. But the early access has also had another thing happen here, which is when they launched it, they had to take everything offline, take off these servers and update it. So it says here, developer Rocksteady was forced to pull Suicide Squad servers offline less than an hour into its early access release after players experienced a bug which automatically completed the game after they logged in for the first time, which is kind of funny. I wonder if it unlocked achievements as well, but maybe not. But I mean, that imagine you log in for the first time and you get every single achievement for like the main campaign or something just instantly unlocked because of these server errors. They say that the online co-op title officially releases on February 2nd, so just a few days from now. But whoever purchased the expensive deluxe edition can play 72 hours early. Now, there is an update. Obviously, they worked hard at getting this thing fixed as soon as possible. And they say that they have discovered the cause of the issue and is testing a fix to resolve it. So they tweet out, "We have identified the problem that was affecting player profiles and are currently testing a fix. We hope to implement it and have the game back online as soon as possible. Thank you for your patience." And they also tweet out that they were aware of the number of players that were currently experiencing the issue when logging in the game for the first time, having the full story completion. So we will keep our eyes on this. Maybe by the time you are watching this video, because this video will be the morning after all this happened, that they will have fixed it. And if you are playing Suicide Squad, I would love to know your initial thoughts on the game itself in the comments, because I am not totally against it. I'm not for it. I'm just kind of waiting to see what the reception is for this game. I don't really know where I'm going to land on it and when I will jump in and play. But one of the things we won't be getting is a review from IGN. And I mean, a lot of people are celebrating this because a lot of people just dislike IGN. They dislike the mainstream websites. And I'm definitely with people when it comes to a lot of the stuff that the mainstream websites do put out, the IGNs, the Kotakus, the Polygons. Like, I think they put out some of the most garbage news articles, most garbage clickbait articles out there. However, with that being said, there is some value for certain things here when it comes to sites like IGN. There are some people at IGN that I actually do like, and I use them for news at times because there is some good reporting. So I'm not all or nothing. I believe there is definitely a middle point when it comes to these websites. I know being all or nothing with the whole Xbox tax thing was something that was very prominent because people were pissed off at that point. But we take a look here, and one of the things that happened was that IGN did not get a review code. And you have Paris Lilly here weighing in on his thoughts as to what could be a solution to this. He says, having a lot of private discussions about Suicide Squad game and the decision to hold reviews until after launch. My 2 cents after hearing various viewpoints, WB did what they felt was best for the long-term health of the game and the studio. If the game fails, the studio may face mass layoffs and or close altogether. As a consumer, you have two choices: buy the game and judge for yourself, or wait for reviews and streams post-launch and judge for yourself. So as we know, IGN, a lot of people are saying it got snubbed because they put out a preview, and the preview was pretty damning on the game. They didn't like the game, or they had a bunch of negative things to say about the game, which led to I guess WB just not giving out review codes. But I believe this is kind of something as well that happened across the industry, that they didn't give review codes to a lot of people. Again, like he says here, holding the reviews until after launch. And this take is something that I totally disagree with. Like, I understand if the game does bad, that maybe the Rocksteady will face mass layoffs and they may end up closing altogether. But the only fault that is, it's Rocksteady's fault. It's WB's fault. It is the company's fault. And reviews and game previews and all of those types of things are to protect the consumer from essentially being bamboozled by game trailers and the publisher hyping up a game that doesn't end up actually being like what they have hyped up. And Ryan McCaffrey here at IGN, this is why I say I'm not all or nothing. He has a great point. I understand he works for IGN, but I think Ryan McCaffrey is absolutely correct here. He says, I love you, Paris, but this ain't it. The publisher doesn't need defending. Consumers do. That's what reviews or some from thereof on a live service game, such as a review in progress, would have achieved, that WB has now chosen not to allow. And he is absolutely correct going forward. I understand that people don't like IGN or don't like other websites or maybe don't like me. Whatever you don't like, it doesn't really matter. And this is kind of my take on this. I say Ryan is correct here. Nobody is entitled to a review code, and I couldn't care less who gets them, because I really don't care who gets reviews. I really only follow a couple of people for reviews, like ACG and Skill Up and stuff for reviews, because I think they do a great job. But if publishers decided not to send them, there's a higher chance consumers get screwed in the end. Solution is to never pre-order or buy the game until well after the game is out. So I don't believe at any point, even no matter how much people are against IGN, it will be a good thing for the gaming industry if publishers start snubbing review codes for mainstream media websites or for people across the gaming industry, because it means that it's less information for the consumer to go out and make a buying decision. And even if you don't care about reviews, because I think reviews are just people's opinions, and if you really, really like a game, the best way to figure out whether you like that game is to pick it up and play it for yourself. But I still think that you can wait a little bit, maybe check out some streams, maybe check out your favorite YouTuber if he's playing it or she's playing it, and see what they think about the game. And don't pre-order, because there's a chance that you could get screwed over by the game not being very good and just kind of getting swept up into the hype. So yes, IGN, people dislike IGN. People dislike GameSpot. People dislike Polygon. But I would never cheer on publishers withholding codes, because I think that will end up being bad for the consumer at the end of the day. And if you don't like IGN, just don't read the reviews. No one's forcing anybody to go on to IGN.com ever. So that's the best solution to that. All right. So that's my rant on Suicide Squad and the whole review debacle. But let's jump over here to something very, very cool. I love seeing this type of stuff. It really gets me going, in no better words, I guess. And that is leaked documents from the past about previous generations, about cool stuff, about the consoles, about plans. And we have this here about the Xbox 720, which ended up being the Xbox One. This is a leaked document from Microsoft in 2012, revealing their plans for the Xbox 720. It was the initial name for the Xbox One. And it says the leaked document revealed Microsoft's plans for the 720, the successor to the Xbox 360. And you can see essentially what their initial goals and plans were before we eventually got what ended up being the Xbox One, which didn't fully follow what they wanted to do here. So Connect version 2, we got that with the Xbox One. That was bundled in at the launch, which was one of the worst decisions I think Xbox made, because a lot of people didn't care about Connect. A lot of people did not want Connect, and doing that raised the price of the Xbox One. But we can see here them talking about it. They say improved voice recognition, better 3D play space, 4-player concurrent tracking, dedicated hardware processing, better HD RGB camera. I never used the Kinect V2. I don't know how much better it was than the Kinect V1. I used the Kinect V1. I thought it was cool tech, but I never really used the second one. Then they say that the Xbox 720 was going to be 6 times the performance. This is where things definitely changed. They wanted to launch the Xbox One at $299 with the Kinect V2 That clearly did not end up happening. I believe it was launched at $499 with the Kinect obviously bundled in there. They believe that they would have a 10-year life cycle with 100 million lifetime units. Again, that obviously did not end up happening, and they would have a flexible SKU strategy, multiple SKUs with different configurations over the lifetime. Then we have here the road to Forza Leyza, and this is kind of their view, the Don Matrick view, essentially, which, I mean, you could say that we have kind of moved towards what Don Matrick view was to right now. And back in 2013, when they were launching this thing, back then he had a view, didn't meet that view. People were against it. And now we're in 2024. We're very much where Don Matrick thought the industry was going to be. He was just kind of 10 years too early. But you can see here, their road to Forza, which is basically turning the Xbox into the ultimate system where you can play your games anywhere, anywhere you want, just like what we have right now with Xbox Game Pass. It says TV app platform launches on the Xbox 360 phone and PC. XTV pay TV service launches on the Xbox 360 phone and PC. So that's from 2011, 2012. Then we moved to 2013, which would be the launch of the next Xbox. Xbox 720 and Kinect V2 launches, one box input into one. So they were going to try to put an app out, get people into that ecosystem, and then launch a new Xbox where they seamlessly would transfer over and stay within that ecosystem. Then they would say there would be the Forza Leyza glasses, which would have a revolution in the living room, so some extra technology. And then there will be a revolution in mobile. And then finally, in 2015, Xbox experiences served up from the cloud instantly on any screen. So that's where we are right now. And this is where Xbox wanted to go back 10 years ago. They were just clearly just too far ahead of the time. So as much as people left to dunk on Don Matrick, and I think like the Xbox One launch was abysmal with the whole E3 stuff, he was essentially on the path that Xbox is at right now. And if he would have been the head of Xbox 10 years later, maybe he wouldn't have such a bad rap. But I mean, obviously Phil Spencer has done a great job. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Just wanted to show that off, that Xbox has had a plan for a while to get to the cloud gaming side of things. Now let's jump over here and let's talk about the state of play, because yesterday we did talk about the state of play. It was in the rumors. Special Nick put out a tweet, and Special Nick was correct. A state of play has officially been announced, and it is on January 31st. And what they say here is that it is going to be 40 minutes covering 15 plus games, including Stellar Blade and Rise of Ronin. I don't believe he had Stellar Blade on his list that was leaked, but that is going to be one of the games that is there. They say the broadcast will be over 40 minutes long and feature guest appearances from some of the most talented minds in gaming. Among many other updates, will feature extended looks at Stellar Blade and Rise of Ronin, two great games coming to PlayStation 5 this year. And we will give you a new look at other titles coming to PS5 and PSVR 2 in 2024 and beyond. Now, I'm happy to see this. I'm actually excited for this state of play because it has been a while, and I do want to know what PlayStation has on their slate of games, the stuff that I'm going to be able to play on my PS5 as well as on my PSVR 2, and just see how the competition is going right now, because the Xbox looks phenomenal. And Xbox, I think, is going to have an incredible year this year, and their snowball is continuing to roll with more games coming out, and that's not going to slow down. I want to see how PlayStation is going to be able to compete now in going forward 2024 and beyond. Now, one of the things that was on Special Nick's list was a new Metro game, and there is rumors now going around that new Metro game is actually a PlayStation VR 2 title. We have this here from Kurakasis on X, and have leaked stuff before, and they say I can reveal that a new Metro game, which is going to be announced very soon, is a VR game titled Metro Awakening. So I guess it doesn't say specifically here that it is going to be PlayStation VR 2, but if we take the pieces, we take Special Nick's leak with Metro in there, and then we take PlayStation officially announcing the state of play and saying they're going to be talking about future PSVR 2 titles, it looks like Metro Awakening is going to be a PSVR 2 title, and that has me happy. it has me interested in keeping my PSVR 2, at least to see what this game is all about, because that is definitely a title and a franchise that I would consider trying out on my VR2 that has literally been collecting dust, minus the first month after buying it, because there's been just nothing interesting. And I hope they actually give us a large slate of things. So January 31st, I'm going to be tuning in, and we'll see what PlayStation does have to offer. All right, let's jump over here. We got some big news in regards to Blizzard and their newest hire, their newest president, because we know last week there was all of the layoffs at Blizzard, and included with those layoffs was Mike Ybarra, who was the previous head of Blizzard. And I think Mike Ybarra had a lot of fans, and he had some good times, he had some bad times, and his overall, I guess, short period as the president of Blizzard, essentially it was a 4 years or so, or maybe even less, maybe even 2 years. I guess he started at Blizzard in 2019 and then became president. So he wasn't really president for very long. I don't think he really had enough time to make a massive impact and change and really put his vision forward. But he's gone now. So Xbox had to appoint a new president, and that new president is Johanna Faries, who was previously at Activision for Call of Duty, and before that was an NFL executive. So it says here, Faries, previously general manager for the Call of Duty franchise at Activision, will succeed Mike Ybarra, who left the company that week amid mass layoffs. Faries started at Activision in 2018 as head of Call of Duty esports. She previously spent 12 years working at the National Football League, and the appointment of an Activision executive as Blizzard's chief may come as a surprise to many employees. Before the acquisition, the maker of World of Warcraft had faced significant tensions with Activision executives over the length of time it took to develop games, among other issues. And former Activision chief executive officer Bobby Kotick had pushed Blizzard to be more predictable in the mode of the Call of Duty franchise, which releases a new version of the series every fall. So I don't really know much about her. I don't really have a strong feeling on this hire. For me, it's like a wait and see type of thing, and see how she does. Because the one thing that does concern me here is what looks like the fusion of Activision and Blizzard. And as we know, Activision and Blizzard, yes, we're one company. Now they're all Xbox, but they are vastly different in their consumer base, in the games that they make, in the overall gaming culture there, who they appeal to. They are vastly different. So when I look at this, my initial reaction is, I don't know how much I actually do like this. It's bringing over an Activision executive and getting rid of somebody like Mike Ybarra, who was truly, for a lot of people, looked at as a gamer who understood what Blizzard was about, who understood World of Warcraft and stuff like that. Bring over somebody who is kind of just an executive and potentially will be bringing some of the business practices that were done at Activision over to Blizzard franchises. A lot of the stuff from 2018 till now with Call of Duty, a lot of it is like microtransactions, battle pass, and really monetizing the customer as much as possible. And I hope that isn't going to be the case here, that they bring those things over to the Blizzard franchises, even more than I guess they are currently on some of their games. But the other side of the coin that has me thinking that this could potentially be pushing Blizzard games more to be like Call of Duty is what they say here, where you had Bobby Kotick, who was on Blizzard for taking significant time to release games. And I get it. People want to play Blizzard games, but more than that, these companies want to put out games to make money. To me, when I see Blizzard taking more time to make games, Blizzard to me has always been a studio that has released very top quality, very engaging titles. Maybe not so much in the last little while, but overall in general, I feel like that's kind of what they have done. And they have taken more time between the release of their games. I never really saw that as too much of a bad thing. If they're going to take more time, make these games higher quality, make these games more engaging, then I'd rather that than get Blizzard games on a Call of Duty like release schedule. I really hope that's not what happens here. I'm not saying that is what's going to happen here. I'm definitely going to give Johanna Faries the benefit of doubt and see how she does perform. So I will reserve kind of my judgment overall on if this was good or bad until we start seeing some more releases from Blizzard. But anyways, that is the new president of Blizzard, and we will continue to track and see how Blizzard changes because of this. All right, let's go over here. Shapeshifter Games. This is a studio here that is apparently developing or co-developing an Xbox Games Studios project. It's a new studio, and it says here newly formed Shapeshifter Games, founded by veteran developers from Volition. And as we know, Volition shut down. The people behind Saints Row, that studio shut down. They're co-developing on an Xbox Games Studios project. Now, the first thing that comes to my mind, and I saw a lot of comments saying this as well, so I think a lot of people have this coming to their mind, and I honestly really hope this is the case, that they could be working on a new Crackdown. I love the Crackdown series, and I know Crackdown 3 got terrible reviews, got like 3 out of 10s on certain websites. Crackdown 3 to me was really fun. I loved it. I played a ton of Crackdown 3, even with all of the terrible reviews, which is why I say, I mean, the reviews don't really matter, just kind of play the game. So I'm kind of hoping if they're taking developers from the Volition, who would be perfect with helping co-develop a Crackdown game, that is what they are working on. Obviously, this game is very, very early. Who knows when we will hear about it, but it's just something to look forward to. Another Xbox Game Studio game that is being worked on with an external studio. And these are smaller studios. So I wonder if Xbox is doing things like this to see if they will potentially end up purchasing them to bring them in if they were good to work with for the co-development of these titles. And then finally, we're going to end it off, as I've covered pretty much all the layoffs that's been happening for the last 2 years. There's another one, the Embracer Group doing what they do, closing or shutting games down and laying studios off. This here says that the Swedish gaming company Embracer Group AB is canceling a video game in the beloved Deus Ex series after 2 years of development, and will lay off a number of employees as part of an ongoing initiative to cut costs, according to people familiar with the moves. And we can see here Eidos Montreal putting out a statement here saying, for the last 17 years, our teams at Eidos have worked on some of the most beloved brands in the industry, combining deep storytelling and innovation into unique games. We have created memorable multi-awarded experiences that we are proud of, and we know our team members have put their heart and soul into all of them. The global economic context, the challenges of our industry, and the comprehensive restructuring announced by Embracer have finally impacted our studio. The difficult decision has been made to let go 97 people from development teams, administration, and support services. We are working to support all impacted personnel through this transition. These very talented, high experienced people are entering the employment market, and we want them to find their next projects and are helping to do so. As we navigate these difficult times, the well-being of our team is our priority, and the continuous commitment to creating games that players will be able to enjoy in the nearby future. To our players, it's oftentimes not just the games, but the game makers as well that we all celebrate and admire. Our commitment is always to making the best games for our amazing fans, that even with this restructuring change, we continue to fight on to deliver those awesome experiences for us to share together. Thank you for continuing support and well wishes. So Embracer's at it again, laying off 97 people at Eidos Montreal and canceling a new Deus Ex game that was in development for 2 years. Very unfortunate to see. We're still in January. This is going to be something that is going to happen throughout all of 2024. The games industry, in terms of an output of great games coming out, is in a good spot. In terms of the health of studios is in a bad spot. So these stories will continue happening. But I will end the video there, guys. If you did enjoy this video, hit that thumbs up. If you are new here, hit that subscribe, and I will catch you guys in the next video.